back when we were stopping the flow of chips to China, it was America's national security concern about how China would use those chips in the military context. The development 24 hours later, after the president cut that deal, is China saying, we have national security concerns and we want to champion our own domestic names. Who has the upper hand in this negotiation?
Well, I think that for China, a lot of the signaling that it has been engaged in is largely performative. We know that the Chinese continue to lack the capabilities that the Nvidia H20 chips offer. And so to some degree, there will be strong demand from the Chinese for the use of the H20 chips. But of course, as was pointed out previously, the Chinese, of course, do want to continue to strengthen its domestic chips building capacity. And, included in that is really providing support to national champions like Huawei. But on the other hand, when we think about where China is headed, China also wants to be supporting national champions like DeepSeek. And of course, DeepSeek's AI models are run on NVIDIA chips. So I think for the Chinese, there are both sort of economic considerations, but there's also security ones. So I don't see the Chinese outright banning the use or purchase of H20 chips in the near term.
Interesting that the information reported that there was a sort of full-on stop being asked for the likes of ByteDance or the likes of Tencent. But for now, you're thinking that there wouldn't be some sort of ban because it'd implicate the users of chips. But what's so interesting is Cambricon Technologies and Huawei, of course, we have seen a market impact of the idea that they'd support their homegrown talent. What else have we seen from the Chinese government to really foster the building of semiconductors that rival that of the H20?
Right. Well, the Chinese have really poured a lot of money into its effort to develop a homegrown, chip industry. And we know that this is very much in line with the top leaders' vision for the country, that Chinese development and rise to national rejuvenation, as the Chinese would put it, a key to that is technological development and being able to rival the US in terms of technology and AI. So, the Chinese have really made very clear that this has been a priority and this will continue to be a priority in terms of its economic development. But nevertheless, the capabilities that they have at home remain short of what US AI chips can provide.
Amanda, briefly, where they do have the power, an outsized power, is rare earths. Is that part of the bargaining chip, if at all?
Yeah, so we've seen that really the Chinese themselves have been, I think, a bit surprised by how potent of a weapon the rare earths controls have been in these trade negotiations. Now, I think it's important to point out that the lifting of the sales of H20 chips on the part of the Trump administration does not seem to have been linked to some sort of deal or concession from the Chinese side. The Chinese, in fact, issued a statement saying that it was not made as part of the deal, to make clear really to an audience that they did not offer any concessions for this. But in terms of rare earths and its role in the larger US-China trade negotiations, absolutely, it's been very important, I think, for the Chinese in realizing that they have this key piece of leverage, and I think for the Trump administration as well, in realizing that the US will remain dependent on Chinese rare earths and rare earths processing technology.